So thank you guys for joining us today for the webcast, Hagerman QVP Connection. And what we're going to take a look at is what is QVP? How does it differ from the different levels of Vault? What can it add on to the different levels of Autodesk Vault? And kind of show it in a live production environment here. So QVP Connection, an easy to use interface, completely customizable. Everything is set up from the server level. So there's nothing we have to push out to the client side. Everything is done on the server where Vault is installed. And we make changes to configurations. The next time the web page is opened or refreshed, all the changes are automatically there. So there's no installation required. So there's no viewing software required for QVP. It uses the default viewers you already have installed. For Inventor files, it would be Inventor View, the Autodesk Viewer, Inventor Read Only, or Inventor if you are a CAD user. For the AutoCAD side, it would be DWG TrueView. If it's DWF files, it would be Autodesk Design Review. PDF files, your PDF Reader, Microsoft files, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, whatever you're using for those default viewers there as well. So it's not requiring any viewing software to be added. It's using what you already have or the free viewers to tie into this. Anything we pull up from QVP, whether it's the main page or if we've got different departments set up with different connections or pages, everything is a live look into the Vault. It's all read-only copies, so you can't check it out, you can't make changes, you can't put it back in. You're getting a live copy of the data as it is when you ran your search in a read-only format. You can open it, you can print it, pull dimensions, depending on if it's a CAD file, and you're working with a viewer that has measuring tools, or turning on and off layers for different printing options, completely up to what you guys are working with. This is just a web page we're adding into your Vault environment. So it works with all three levels of the Vault: Vault Basic, Vault Workgroup, and Vault Professional. So why would we add QVP to Vault Basic? Well, with Vault Basic, it requires CAD access. So you either have to have Inventor or AutoCAD installed to be able to install the Vault Basic client. Otherwise, it will not even install for you. If it doesn't see that prerequisite with CAD already being installed, the installation will not go through anymore. Vault Basic is free, so there's no licensing aspect there, but it does require that CAD access. So why would we add QVP to that? Well, shop floor personnel, project managers, estimating, looking at the bill of materials, accounting, want to print off the bill of materials for billing purposes. So all of those departments may need access to the vaulted data without having to go back to the engineer and go, hey, can you email me this? Can you send this over? So this allows them to search into the vault, find the file, print the file, look at the file, whatever they need to do with it there, anything but make edits to it. So we can have this set up for part number, description, engineer, any specific properties that would be beneficial to them. So you're not having to search on all the properties that are in the Vault or all the iProperties or all of the custom DWG properties. It's searching for the properties that matter to you. So this would allow your non-CAD users access to look inside the Vault and query, search, view, and print documents. So with Vault Workgroup 2022, why would we add QVP? Well, Vault Workgroup requires single seat or named use licensing. So example, you have 10 CAD users, you have 10 Vault Workgroup licenses. If you had a project manager, a plant manager, or shop floor personnel that needed access, you've got to purchase another license of Vault Workgroup, or two, depending if they cannot share. If each one needs it, then you would have to buy as many as you would need there. Adding QVP seats, as long as they're not going to be involved in lifecycle transitioning, revising files, updating properties and things like that inside the Vault, this is where QVP would come in handy, where we could tie those users in. Now they can query, view, and search just like the Vault Basic users could. And again, it's specific custom properties we're looking at, specific Inventor properties, specific CAD properties. We can tie it into any of the properties you want to look at. It runs right through the web browser. So there's, again, nothing to be installed locally there. And then the top end of the Vault products, the Vault Professional. So Vault Professional does include a thin client. Autodesk does provide the web client with the Vault Professional software. It is not customizable. It is working off of multi-property searches, meaning we can't just go out and search off part number. It's going to search through all the properties at one time there for the 2022 thin client. Again, same reason we could add it for Vault Basic and Vault Professional is that customizable search based off specific properties that we want to look at. So if we've got part number, project, mill area, vendor, any of those properties we wanted to look at, that's where we would set up QVP and tie in directly to the Vault file store data, and we could search on those records and we see the results we want to see. So let's take a look at some of the QVP interfacing here. So I've got 3 browsers pulled up here. Internet Explorer, it works with any of the web browsers you're using. I happen to have 3 installed on my machine, so I'll show all 3 here. So I've got Internet Explorer, I've got Microsoft Edge, as well as Google Chrome. And with each one here, I do have a different connection or page pulled up. So we'll start here with the Internet Explorer. My active connection pulled up here is Hagerman. That's just what my default page is called. And on this one here, I'm looking at file name and inventor version. This is a pick list, so I can look at any version of inventor files that's in my vault, all the way back from Inventor 2015 Service Pack 2, all the way through Inventor 2022. And so if I just want to pick Inventor 2017 and I hit search, I see there's 2 files here that are still rocking the old 2017 SP1 version that have not been migrated yet. If I wanted to change this to 2020, out of the box, I've got 50 files here. Now the default, this is going to show me 20 records. I could change this to say, show me all 100 or 10, 20, 40, 60, whatever I want to see. And then it's going to show me these records. We're using a web page here, but we do have column sorting. So I can sort this by file name. I could sort this by designer. I could sort this by description if we have descriptions in there. But each one of these pages has their own unique set of searching properties, as well as their own unique set of results that we're looking at here on the return side. Again, I've got another pick list here for material. So I can say, what do I have that's Inventor 2020 and aluminum 5005? Nothing. Well, if I change that out and just say, all right, so what do I have here with this material? I've only got the 1 file. And so these are pick lists. They don't have to be pick lists. I can just type in that I'm looking for 1, 2, 3 in the file name, and it'll go look for any consecutive 1, 2, 3 in any file name property, and it'll return those results. If I type in an AA, it'll come out. If I have an AA in there, it's going to find an AA. If I look for anything that just has an A in there. So we do have wildcards, and when working with QVP, the wildcard is the % symbol. So if I was looking for a gear bearing, I could type in %gear, %BEAR, %, and it would go out and find that for me. So different options there for searching. In this case here, I'm just searching for an A, so it's pulling up everything that has an A in there. So if I did the AN %BA, so I'm looking for anything with AN and BA. So now I found 3 files that have anchor base. So they're not continuous, it's just using that wildcard. So I can search right off of that. I can filter this down to designer here and say, you know what, well, let's look at only the ones that Mark put in the vault. So there's 2 files. So the more criteria I add on the searching side, the fewer results I get. So I'm getting more to the point of the file that I'm looking for. So I do have the 3 different connections there, and I'll show one in each browser here. So looking at Edge on this one, we'll just come over to the shop floor. And my shop floor guys, they're only worried about project, title, and file name. And as far as returns or results, they want to look for the file name, designer, material, and description. So again, my project is a pick list. So I don't have to enter in the project number I'm looking for. It's going to display me a numeral alphabetic list here based off any property that has been supplied in the project field inside my vault. So if I go into the inventor and I create a new project for 14C-17 and I check that file in, well then that 14C-17 would appear the next time I did a search here off the project value. So it's live, it's always looking directly at the file store. I don't have to go refresh it when files are added. If we go in and there's a new property added, it's automatically going to show up there the next time I open the web page. So I can search for any property here, and each one of these should have files in there because the property is showing. And so if I go to the DD, if I go all the way down to this one, so as I'm going through any one of these, it's automatically going to show me those files as long as I hit search. Now I can hit clear, you can hit F5 to refresh. Either way, if you're working with it, I want to look for a title with anything that has A in the title. Now I can come over here and I can see, all right, I've got these 6 files showing right here. And then I've got another connection set up here for my sales guys, and they only care about file name and designer. And so again, my designer, so I can say, all right, you know, what has Dan put in the vault? Well, Dan's put 32 files in the vault. What has Mark added to the vault? Mark's got 87 files in the vault. And so I can sort by these on material. So I said, oh, well, I've got, what, 7 or 8 files here that don't have a material. So now I can go back to Mark and go, hey, I was looking through this and these files don't have a material assigned. Can you take a look at this? Or I can come in here and say, you know what, I've got a few of these that have projects assigned, but these other files we're working with, they don't show the project. Can you take care of that? So without having to be inside the vault looking at that, I can come in here, I can run a search, I can take a look at these types of examples here and roll with those, and then I can communicate back. So now we've searched for it. How do we view them? Well, on each one of these instances here, there is a little glass, excuse me, a little glasses icon, and we call that view file. So depending on the browser, so if I'm doing it with Chrome, it's just going to download it for me because that's how my settings are set up. If I'm come over here and I say I want to look at this one through Edge, it's going to pop up and say, hey, do you want to open it or do you want to save it? We'll see more options here. So different options there. If it's with IE and I'll select the same file here and hit view file, it's going to pop up with the default, do you want to save, save as, or save and open? Now I have Inventor installed, so if I just hit open right here, it's going to run a quick scan and then it's going to open this file in Inventor in the background very quickly there. And then I can, you know, rotate it around, start pulling measurements with it. If you don't have Inventor, you can use the Inventor View software. You can use Inventor Read Only. You can download these files and then open them with the online Autodesk Viewer software. So we've got different options there. Say I am going to be out of town this week, and I know I'm going to be at the hotel one night this week, and I want to take some files in for a client to look at. Well, I'm looking live at the data, so I'm connected to the server. Well, let's say when I get to the hotel, I know I won't be connected to the network, but maybe these 4 files I want to make sure I've got a copy of. So without having to go back to engineering, go, hey, can you send me a copy for all these files? I can just come out here and run a search, select these files, and then there's a little button right here that says copy selected items to share. And so I go out and it'll copy these out to my downloads folder, and now I've got a local copy of these files. Again, they're read only. I can't make any changes to them, but now I've got a local copy of them. I can go out, I can carry this with me to the hotel, I can open it up Friday morning, Monday morning, whenever it is, and I show them to the client and say, here's where we're at right now. So whether it's the drawing, whether it's the Inventor file, whether it's the PDF copy or the DWF copy, whatever it is, if that's what we're looking for, we've got a copy of those now, just using that copy out to the selected share folder. All right, so let's make some changes now. Since all of this is fully customizable and easy to configure and work with, let's go make some changes. So inside the QVP configurator, under the searching option, I have Hagerman shop floor and sales. It's the same thing I have right here, Hagerman shop floor and sales. So if I want to make a change, and let's go down to the sales one here, and we'll look under search criteria, and this is showing me file name and designer, as well as material and project. Well, if I look over here, file name designer, material and project. Now, file name is always going to be displayed on the return side. It is the default. The file name will always be listed, so we don't even list it as an option here because it's just always going to be there. So if I wanted to add to this, whether it's the return side or to the searching side, so I want to go to the search side, and my sales guy says, you know what, file name is great, designer is great, but can we search off project? Can we search off part number? Absolutely. So we'll come over here and we'll say, well, let's search off part number. And we'll say, what do we want to search? Is it a text box? Is it a unique value? We want it to be a list. And they say, well, we want to be able to search by specific part number, so let's just go with a text box, okay? So we're going to make it a text box. We're going to say it contains. We're going to hit apply and yes, and it's there. And nothing has to happen on the client side except a refresh. And we'll go refresh. We'll come over to the sales side, and now here's my part number. And now I can search off the part number side. And so there's no updates to be pushed out to the client. We don't have to reinstall any software. There's no service packs, no update.1.2, R1, R2. It's just a refresh if it's open, or the next time you launch the web page, it's going to automatically be there. Now the same thing if we wanted to add a return field here. We So you know what? So we've got material, we've got project. What about description? Let's go add description. So we'll just scroll down here till we see description. We'll add description. And if we want it to say something different than the display name, we can do that as well. So we'll just call this our DWG description. So we'll hit apply, we'll hit yes, and then once again, we'll hit refresh. We'll change back to our sales, which is where we were, and now my DWG description is right here. And so if I come back over here and let's go put an A because there's some description showing up. And so this is the description, ASDF, and so we can sort by those right there. There's my descriptions. So my project numbers, materials, I can still sort by those. Top and bottom, I see I've got one with titanium, a bunch with the mild steel right there. I'm only looking at 20 records here. There's 77 to be shown. Again, I can change this out to say show me all 100 of these. And in this case, there's only 77. So all the files are there. Again, we can select a few of these, hit copy to share or copy them out. If we just want to view, we hit the little icon right here. It downloads it for us. And now I've got a copy. I can launch it in Inventor, Inventor View, whatever my default Inventor file association is there. So you can use it with CAD if you have CAD installed. If you don't, it's going to use the free viewers, whether it's Inventor View, Inventor Read Only. If it's an AutoCAD file, it's DWG TrueView. Again, if it's the Microsoft files we're looking at, then Microsoft Office products would be the defaults for those. If it's Open Office, that would work as well. So whatever your default Windows association is attached to, that's the format it's going to open with. And again, QVP is very lightweight, server install, everything is run from there. And I'm using it on my machine because my machine also is my Vault server, so that's why it's installed here. But we install it where the Vault server is installed, so we can tie it directly into the file store. We can add configurations, we can make changes to them, we can move these up and down. So if I wanted my sales one to be up, I can move it up. If I wanted the shop floor to be listed second or first, whatever it is, we can sort these and move these around if we would like. Otherwise, when we hit refresh, everything is here now. So even on the IE side, come over here to part number and do a search. If I come over here to the edge and do a search here, same thing again. We're doing this here. If we want to change this to, does Mark have any of these? All right, all 4 of those are in there by Mark. Do we have one with 1, 2, 3? We only have 1. So the more results or the more searching criteria we add, the narrower the results, which gets us closer to the file we're actually looking for. All right, so in a wrap up there, what is QVP? It is a perfect tool for users that need to query or search, view, and or print documents stored inside Autodesk Vault products without consuming that data management license. So that's the big thing there, is this is for anyone that needs to look at the product without tying up that CAD license. It's simple to configure and customize. It is controlled at the server level, so we're not having to do any client installs. Everything is live. As we make changes and we hit apply, those changes are automatically readily viewable. All the users have to do is hit refresh or open the web page again, and we are good to go. So why QVP? Allowing those data management access to all those non-CAD users, or in some case, we do have some clients that are using Vault Pro that still prefer the QVP customizable web page because they can customize it. They can search off the properties that are important to them. Also, those multiple search configurations, or those pages we were looking at, those different connections there for the project managers, the shop floor personnel, the maintenance crew, accounting, estimating, outside vendors. It's coming in to do some on-site work. We can have each one of those pages set up for those guys. It's only relevant for them. And so with that, we will turn it over to any questions here that we have and see if we can get you guys out of here in a roughly smooth amount of time. All right, so a couple of questions coming in here. One, can you save searches? No, because we're just going through a web page here. There's no option there to save it. We're just using a straight cache into the file store. So we can save the search configuration. We cannot save the search results based off what we're searching for there. Thank you for the question there, Caleb. So there was a question here. Are these only released files or all files that can be seen? So it can be both. So there is an option here inside the configuration to where I can set it up to where I'm only viewing released files set to true or false. And so right now I've got it set to false, so I'm looking at all files. I can change that to true, where it's only going to show me released files. Now that would only pertain to, or only apply to Autodesk Workgroup and Autodesk, or Vault Workgroup and Vault Pro, as long as you are using the lifecycle transitions. If you're not using those, then no, that wouldn't apply there because you wouldn't have anything released. But as long as you're using those transitions and you have released files with Workgroup and Pro, then yes, we could restrict that to showing released files only. With Vault Basic, that is not an option. Great question there, Mark. Will QVP allow a quick view of a file instead of having to download it each to view it? It depends on your web browser settings. So the way I have Chrome set up, it automatically downloads. The way I have IE set up, it asks me, and the way I have Edge set up, I just have it automatically open. So it automatically opens. It doesn't download that file per se to the hard drive. It goes to the temp folder because I'm not allowing it to download. So it is doing a quick preview there. It's not going to do it in another window, but it will open it with my default viewer there without having to save the file. So search setup and configuration was shown as flexible. Is there a way for a pre-configured setup to be installed for multiple users to ensure the consistent look? Yes. So all the users are going to see the same thing here. Out of the box, we have a couple of default searches that are set up just when we do an install that we just show it's working so we can show the properties. It's not tied into your vault until we tie into your vault. So the way this works here, and I'll use my, I'll just use a new one here. So if we do a new search configuration and we tell it we're going to use Autodesk Vault, and we'll give it a name, and we'll call this webinar, and we have to configure it here. And so in this one here, we have to tell it the name of the vault as well as where the file store is. And this doesn't take just a second here. Let's go to my C drive, program data, Autodesk folder, and Vault server, file store. And so I'm going to use my MD Vault. That's the name of the vault I want to tie in here. So we'll say OK. And then I tell it the vault name, ND Vault. And then I hit test connection, and it verifies that the version of Vault that I'm working with here. So I hit save. And now I have a new one down here. I might hit apply here, save this. Yes, I have a new connection here called webinar. So now everyone would have this same set. So I can't have it where one user sees webinar and the others do not. Everyone would see the same thing. So all of this is coming in, and we are searching for all of this. So search criteria here, I would have to add a new one. So in this case here, if we said, all right, let's search our file name, and it's a text box. It contains, we hit apply, we hit yes. And if I roll one of these back up real quick and I just refresh, now there's webinar with file name. So if I do a search, it's only going to show. I didn't set up any return field, so file name is the default. That's the only one that's going to show, but that's where that would come in right there. So everyone has a consistent look. Everyone is seeing the same thing. Pre-configured means out of the box, no, because we just have a default, because until we're working with the client, we don't know exactly what you guys want to see, but it is configured before the client starts using it. So the search filtering options, great question there. So we can come in here and we can tell it reference file types to include. So are there specific file types we don't want to see? We can leave those out. In this case here, I'm using DWG in case I've got an inventor IAM or an IPT file attached to a DWG. I wanted to show those as well. So we can link it or we can have it set where it shows these types. There is a way to disable those as well if we don't want to see certain file types. That button that I was using, copying files to share, we can actually turn this off so that we don't allow people to copy those files out to that share folder if we didn't want to see that. Is the search going to return links? Thank you for the question there, Caleb. Are you looking for like a file path that it would show there where it would be stored inside the vault? Is that what we're looking for there? If so, yes, we can add file path to that. But it's not going to show you a file structure as to where it's at. It's just because we're just doing a global search of the entire vault that's just coming back with the files themselves.
Yeah, in a sense, the returns are kind of links to the file themselves, isn't it, Mark? Kind of.
Yes, because it is pulling the file.
Yes, I'm not sure how Caleb's referring to links, like you're saying path to the file, or because the return are kind of links in itself. So, links to files that are created in the vault, he's saying. So, you want to answer that, Mark?
That is a great question. I have not tried that. That is one I would have to test and see. I don't have any files linked in my vault to one another, but that is a great question. I will play with that and see. And Caleb, I will have your email information here based off of the sign up, and I will check that out this afternoon and get back to you. Great question though. All right. Any other questions coming in here? All right, Miss Ashley, looks like we have gone quiet here.
Okay, well, thank you for the presentation and thank you all for attending. If you do think of additional questions later, you can simply reply to that confirmation or reminder email you received from GoToWebinar, and we can get that to Mark or your sales rep to get your questions answered. Once again, a short survey will pop up as we close down, and we're grateful for you to fill that out for us. And also a reminder, you will receive an email tomorrow with a link for the recording of today's presentation. And we'll go ahead and end things for today, but have a great day, everyone. Thank you.